Right. We left off just after killing someone. And to carry on exploring.
The machine gun grants me insight.
Train. The Infernus Master salutes you cheerfully. I.O. Stick. Lord Captain, what an unexpected encounter. What brings you to this compartment? The famous cuisine, the magnificent visits, no doubt. I seek the Bloodspun Web Temple. Do you know where it's hiding? I don't have the foggiest idea, and that's probably for the best. I have my hands full as it is. What are you doing here? I'm taking the patch. I'm here to patch up salvage. Locomotive number 3, under the tech priest's supervision. That old grump is my personal favourite on the entire freight line. Every couple of years, salvage gets mad. His boiler catches fire and starts spitting steam at the repairman. Guess who they call to take care of him in these situations? The Inferni, of course, and after I've done all the most dangerous work, that's when the Iron Brains come in, but that's alright. I love salvage. When he's in a good mood, the feeling you get standing at the levers and speeding down the freight line is indescribable. I envy those tech priests, drivers who get to operate him every day. The roar of the boiler, the wheels thumping like mad, and all that furious power pulsing in your hands, responding to the slightest movement. How about there's a mischievous spark in Indrik's eye. I introduce you. Is it safe? Oh, I refuse to believe salvage would dare scold the Lord Captain. Definitely should not. Can't turn down an offer like that. The panel before you is covered with technical runes, lumens and levers. The platform shakes with the boiler's mighty vibration as the iron beast beneath your feet growls and snorts fiercely. Endrick squints contentedly and whispers litanies of indignation before turning to you. The machine is angry and refuses to obey. Right now, salvage is powered only by the auxiliary maneuvering engine. We need to start the main rotor if we want to take a trip down the freight line. Initiating the train's blessed algorithm. Let not corrosive wear separate the wheel set. Let the traction drive receive the touch of the motive force, granted by the invisible hand of the Omnissiah. Let his grace strengthen the joints and support that lift the body above the decay of the mortal track. Hear me, drivers, and praise the machine god thrice, for it is only by his will that the miracle of sacred locomotion is accomplished. The blessed have been successfully executed. Listen to the noise coming from the boiler. The stubborn machine does indeed seem remarkably similar to a wild beast. The roar of a mechanism resembles horse grazing, and the scarlet glow of the lumines on the control panel make you think of the malicious glare of a predator. The spirit of a machine is vicious but strong and lively. What should I do? Put your hand on the big lever and gently give it a pull. Very gently. Hendrik's face is focused, but his voice has not lost any of its playful cheer. Salvage does not like being hassled. Pull the lever gently towards you. A few erratic jolts shake the platform, and an indignant groan emanates from the depths of the machine. An intense shudder passes through the lever and into the palms of your hand. There is a strange feeling of emptiness in your stomach. Salvage's fiery heart is stirring. Do you feel it? There is so much energy and defiance in him. This is a rocket, not a locomotive, unruly and enamored with speed, but quite willing to submit to a strong hand. There is almost a loving tenderness in Hendrik's voice. Pull the lever towards you, smoothly but firmly, then pump the fuel with the command rune. Pull the lever and pump the fuel. A new explosion inside Salvage shakes the iron body, causing your eyes to see double from the vibration. Now you feel his real power. He can run down the entire freight line in a minute, given a chance, and kill anyone who rides him at that speed. Now appears some thrusting to the main rotor. Grab those paired levers and give them a firm tug. Reach the ornate carved levers and awaken the beast. A torrent of steam bursts from the slit in front of your face, but Hendrik defiantly covers you with his shoulder. A moment later you realize that you cannot hear a thing, or rather, you hear only one thing, the roar of the engine, triumphant and powerful. Look at Salvage, has agreed not to kill us both. His tech priest guardians will be pleased. All hail the Lord Captain, you have subdued the mighty beast today. Now, I'm sure you have urgent business to attend to, and it is time for me to drive Salvage down the line and see if he is feeling cranky. Change your plans, full speed ahead, we're heading down the freight line. Not quite, your ladyship. I said Salvage is not dangerous, but not dangerous ends right there. He might just pull a stunt and break us to death during the ride, and it would be better if the ship did not lose another Lord Captain. Have a good trip then. Everything is going to be alright. Salvage would never fry me, right, Salvage? Oh, let me ride the train. Kinda sad.
rise to the top,
so
or
he's
get
running
left in
down
the
there.
dust.
A group of Gawkers are crowded around a makeshift stage watching a strange duo perform. A man with old looking goggles pushed up on his forehead, hands wrapped in a worn leather gloves, plays a tune on a handmade flute. Next to him sits a stack of crates, supposedly supporting some kind of game board. A scruffy rat is rolling small glass beads on the board. Watch the game. Several workers empty their pockets and start throwing ration cards, bolt nuts, and even a few power panels into the small chest next to the board. The flute player winks at the crowd and switches to a different tune. The rat squeaks excitedly and starts rolling the colourful balls the players have chosen around the maze of tunnels on the board, but not a single one reaches the goal, a hole marked with a red circle. The rat just rolls all the balls off the board or into dead ends. Once the first group of players get their hopes dashed and leave empty-handed, the next workers immediately take their place. Watch the rat. The rat scurries around the board, spurred on by the flute. Its movements appear erratic at first, but after a while you notice how constantly the ball seems to miss the goal at the very last moment, while the rat's clumsy, amusing scapering distracts the spectators. Nimble tail directs the ball away from the hole. Listen to the tune. The rat's movements from the flick of its tail to when and where it pushes the ball. Oddly, its master's wordless commands obeys its master's wordless commands with uncanny precision. The notes, the pauses, the rhythm, every part of the melody serves as a signal to the flute player's tiny assistant. See if we can solve the mystery. Your mind eliminates all irrelevant factors, the ruffling of cards, the clamour of bolt nuts, the excited gesture of naive folk believing in luck where calculation reigns. There is only the game and its structural components, a skillfully crafted melody, and the trained pet that is smarter than it looks. Where others hear music, you discern a series of coded directions being issued to the flute player's tiny accomplice. The rat distracts the spectators with a show of clumsiness while precisely following its master's commands. This is how the balls just happen to roll past the goal, much to the chagrin of the participant. You there, why are you idling about and distracting the other workers? The crowd, which has been too absorbed in the performance to notice your presence, turns to you. Expressions of frightful awe appear on the worker's face. Many start whispering prayers. The man stops playing and shrugs a guilty smile across his face. I haven't had work for who knows how many watches now, and even if they did give me work, the enforcers would just rob me of any of my earnings afterwards. So I've found a calling after my own heart. I trade fortune for ration cards. The folks around here peddle away what little they have to spare. Anyway, so why can't I? The crowd echoes the words of incautious agreement. Perhaps you would like to trade some of your captain's fortune of yours, your ladyship. The flute player bows respectively and gestures at the game board. The crowd buzzes with anticipation. That's a curious looking flute. how did you come by it? He pats his instrument gently. My mother loved music. She used to hum beautiful melodies to me, and when she passed away, I carved this flute from her hip bone and learned to play. Out of sorrow, out of her memory. Are you suggesting we play a game? The flute player smiles eagerly. Please, bless our little lark with your attention. Explain the rules to me. It's simple. On the board, you play with fate. Choose a ball and give it to Bolts, my rat. If she rolls your ball into a pocket marked in red, within 3 minutes you win. If she doesn't, you lose. Simple. I'm gonna cheat. This should be amusing. He's cheating. Why can't I cheat? The man readies his flute and the rat dives under the board. You hear clawed feet scramble against the crate, and a few moments later a green ball pops out of the centre. You have already seen through a flute player's performance. You listen to him play and watch the rat closely. Then at a certain point you start tapping your finger on the edge of the crate, adding your own rhythm to the tune. The rat scrambles in confusion, mistaking your commands for those of its master, and starts rolling the ball towards the goal. When the ball drops into the red hole, a few impressed whistlers come from the crowd, and the flute player laughs heartily. Cleverly done, your ladyship. Well, I had no doubt you would be a worthy opponent, and your strategy, I think I will keep it in mind in my future games. You lost this time, but I know you're cheating. Get out of my sight before I report you to the enforcer. With an observant bow, he slings his bag with the rat inside over his shoulder and puts his flute in a simple case. I wouldn't dare try your patience further. May we meet again, Lord Captain. We will meet again. Fortunately not for the better. What is going on today? Beggar. A group of beggars are rattling their arms mugs and in an ostentatious display their hunger-stricken bellies and various disfigurements. The toothless man falls to his knees before you. Your ladyship, spare a throne for those who can't even get worship. Rubbish. I'm a priest, I have to look after the needy. Ah! Toss some ration cards at them. The bellies will be full tonight. Praise the Lord Captain, the poor descendants of the arm. The poor descend on the arms like a pack of gutter rats, each one scurrying off in their own corner with what they grabbed. Workers beaten within an inch of their lives are returning stolen property. Are returning stolen power panels, wires and microlumens to containers marked disposal.
I did it?
Judging by the merchant's round, well-fed face, the rustling junk laid out on the corner is merely a smokescreen for the more valuable and likely illegal goods that are being hidden from idle glances. Level up time! I'm guessing finest hour. Bonus 3 times fellowship in damage. It's not going to be a lot. I don't have much fellowship, but I think it's better than temporary wounds because it's not really make a lot of difference. It's 9. This is 9%. An extra 9% damage to kill things faster, and stopping someone from dying. Though it does seem interesting being unable to die for a turn. Well, until the officer's next turn. Because that gives you 2 turns of attacking, ideally. 2 turns to attack and see what you can do. There's also that just that 9% is going to slowly get better. And it just grants voice command until end of. I'll go with the bonus damage. Abelard. Additional damage. See, we've got end of combat rate of fire is increased by 30%. For end of combat, all soldiers' attacks have 20% hard dodge. Additional damage. What's the percentage of additional damage? Doesn't tell you. So we'll do the harder to dodge and armor pen. Right now. On using Death Roll, after killing an enemy, the blade dancer gets 3% dodge until the end of combat, stacks up to 6 times. Right. At the end of combat, strikes made by the blade dancer, including attacks made as part of blade off, reduce enemy's weapon skill by 2 plus agility halved %. and decrease enemies' armor and dodge by the same. Penalties stack. Or heal. Reduce weapon skill, armor, and dodge. Right. Target provokes attacks opportunity. Reduce weapon scale and ballistic scale. Reduce armor and dodge. No, we'll just cripple the target until end of turn. He's not going to use it on something big. Now she really is adding a damage bonus. Right. To go this way. This will take us down there. This is just to this guy. A sinewy middle-aged man watches the bustle of the bay with a detached expression. Every so often, whenever his eyes linger on the blood-marked inscribed nearby, his face changes strangely, and his hands clench into fists. Just as you began to hear the rumble of the approaching train, the man gazes towards the track. He leans forward. It's gonna mess up my train. Do not even think of marring the underside of my train with your entrails. What? I didn't. The man stands and almost falls, but manages to keep his balance. In the dim lumen light, you notice a scar scratched all across his body. The scar even seems vaguely familiar. Pascal's Voxen's visor springs to life in an indignant binaric thrill. I am registering this man's intention to use the train tracks for purpose other than those intended for its design. I categorically demand that the unit's self-disposal be carried out using methods that do not violate the catechisms of maintenance and operation. Look at the man's scar. The scars are vary in length, wide, width and depth and shape. However, you notice a pattern in a way the scars are aligned, as well as a series of faded symbols on the man's rough skin. Death cultists bear similar marks on their bodies. But spinners are constantly renewing their wounds, while this man looks long since healed. Your eyes always return to the blood symbol. What do you know about it? It's a symbol of the blood-spun web. I come here every watch, but it hasn't been here before now. I guess today must be the special day. He smiles strangely. The man's faded eyes go wide as he notices Clibeth. His voice quivers. Have you come to take me to the other side? Kilibeth briefly studies the man's face and then turns away. I do not know you. Death's gaze is not upon you. The man lets out a dull groan and turns to look at the symbol again. But then why? Why is it here? Who are you? I'm a dead man. I lost my name years ago. I have been just another dead man ever since. You dare insult the rogue trader with your impudence. Your body may already be covered in scars, but your tongue seems to be asking for more. You know the symbol of a blood-spun web. You bear similar scars. Are you a spinner? I was, but I failed to complete my final assessment, so I was exiled from the cult. The Vizier told me to kill the one who would be at a certain junction of utility tunnels at a certain hour. I went to the appointed spot, then I waited. An hour, 2, 5. The junction was still empty. Nobody came. After hours of waiting, I finally realized the person at the junction had been me the whole time. It was my turn to go to the Undying One, but I was afraid. I couldn't do my duty. I ran. You ordered to die? For what reason? The man looks at you. But some would choose to leave the righteous path. Those earned penance in due time. Her whips sings vengeance on renegade menace. Her blade passes sentence. For crowds seek to hide their heart. Death makes no penance. It takes what is due in essence. He stops, then adds hoarsely, the third verse of the Song of Trailing Blood. The Vizier recited it to me before sending me on my final assessment. I didn't realize at the time that it was my judgment. Another verse, another step along the trail of blood. The riddle is trivial. It is time for death to take what is due. The Vizier is waiting expectantly for you to carry out the sentence he passed years ago. There were plenty of reasons. I sowed death. I offered him the souls of the most pleasing men and women I could find because it kindled my passions. I killed off crew members who didn't deserve the wealth, and I took their thrones. I killed enforcers who looked into my eyes without fear, because I wanted to be feared. I revelled in bloodshed. I betrayed the tenants. I realized it, but I couldn't help it, because I enjoyed it. So the spinners let you go. They made no attempt to find you and kill you. There was no pursuit. I thought I'd see their black blades at the very next day. Instead, years passed without them taking my heart. I tried starting a new life, but the terror never stopped eating away at me. When I got truly desperate, I went to the Temple of Death myself, but no one there would speak to me. When I gave them my name, they just whispered, Cebrians has gone to the Undying One. They looked through me like I wasn't even there. I've lived like this for 20 years, like a coward, like a dead man. You have killed... Have you killed any more innocent souls since you ran? No, I've been afraid to touch my own knife ever since that day. Though I might just stab me on my own. But the temptation is always there. You are a coward and butchered innocent. I will purge you of my ship. I will purge my ship of your very existence. Man does not stop you. He even leans closer to the rail, accepting his fate with a smile on his face. The undying one is death. No, my train! So all that time, they wrecked my train. Kilabeth stares at the remains of he who was once her brother in service. Truly it is better for him to die than to live. Truly it is better to die for him than to live for yourself. This he forgot.
I always keep my options open. This is intriguing.
Ooh. Loot. Some more Russian cards. How many times do I need to tell you, you ungrateful maggots, mistakes must be paid for? Have mercy, in the throne's name, I beg you. The battered worker throws himself at your feet and touches the toe of your boot with his dirty palm. Your grace, your gracious ladyship, hand of the god emperor, save your unworthy servant. Get lost. The enforcer's heavy baton pummels the man back and shoulders several times. His bones crack audibly. The sound of breaking bone, the man cries. The enforcer's hateful laughter reminds you of what you went through yourself. Too vividly and too painfully. Oh, I've gained echoes of torment. -10 on perception. Oh. Give me there for a while. My sincerest apologies, Lord Captain. Your boot, I'll clean it right away. The murmurs of discontentment breaks out among the Gawkers who have gathered around. None of the other workers dare come closer, but the anger on their faces is plain to see. I intend to hear this man out. Your ladyship, I work hard, never even taken breaks to rest, and all I earn is 7 ration cards, with 15 mouths to feed back home. The enforcers shake me down every shift, just like they do every other honest worker who... Enough whining. You and your pals lifted a box of Nutribars a few watches ago, and 2 canisters of water before that. I didn't beat the life out of you because I took pity on you. And this is the thanks I get? You quarantined the hub for 20 watches and refused to give out rations if we didn't have cards. Cards we had no way to earn. And today you earned 15 cards in a single shift because you did the work of 3 people, right? Or did you take your pals to the dark corner somewhere do them in and take their share. I didn't do them in. It was an act. The worker stops himself, carrying with him. They got their heads bashed in by the crates. The dead don't need rations. Am I to understand the enforcers are appropriating earnings from the workers after their shifts? We appropriate nothing. We just monitor and redistribute, the enforcer muttered gloomily. The rabble are lying and their thieving lot. We have instructions to stay alert for people holding more than a standard amount of ration cards, to prevent supply embezzlement and famine. They do not take our cards, your ladyship. They do take our cards, your ladyship, and they grow fat using them themselves. The worker's eyes squeeze shut tightly as he winces his accusations. He seems unable to believe his stroke of luck. Oof. You both deserve punishment. Strip the arbitrary enforcer of his rank and give lashes to the thief. The worker snarls at the enforcer, who suddenly goes pale. Didn't expect that, did you now? Didn't expect that now, did you? Once my back stops hurting, we'll see how brave you are without your baton. A low, insistent dissent begins to rise in the crowd, only to die back down as soon as the enforcers brandish their batons. Murmurs immediately turn into pleas for mercy. A sullen, red-bearded man with keen black eyes draws your attention. His oddly piercing gaze seems to size you up the whole time you were speaking, but now he has hastened to conceal himself behind the Gawkers. The next thing you know, you are watching him hurry deeper into the tunnels. Discharged enforcer, surrounded by spiteful leers, glowers at the crowd as the beaten worker laughs uprighteously, seemingly far more pleased with the other's misfortune than his own sentence. Box. Know where to go next. Right. Then it's secure the container.
Let us not dawdle.
container back. Do this job.
Always keep
So
your
easy.
eye on the prize.
Someone has sketched a hasty portrait of a worker with a red scarf over his face. The artwork seems streaked with chemical pigment. Judging by the layers of flaked off paint, it has been removed several times already. Ah, who are you? No, shh, don't make a noise. They shoot everyone. Please don't tell them. And it's a power pick. And it's quite a good weapon.
Keep your wits about you.
Right. Else down there. Look up here. Nope. Cross. Athletics.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
The body. Stuff. Oh, that's everything. Oh. No, several
Is there
containers.
money to be made?
But it was just one. The boot print that smudges the symbol slightly. Trail leads towards the slums.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Right. Oh, I know this. Several people are eagerly rummaging through a rack filled with weapons from the enforcer's arsenal. A big man with a poxmarked face is the first to react to your presence. He attracts the other's attention with a piercing whistle and barks out, "Who are you?" They're not supposed to be anyone. It doesn't matter. Identify yourself. Take a closer look at the suspicious individuals. Makeshift armor peeks out from beneath their ragged clothes, and their battered weapons display a patchwork of crude repairs. The group stare longingly at the rack where the good plasteel gleams. Restlessly, they clutch their humble weapons. You notice that the little finger on every person's right hand has been cut off. Hardly a coincidence. Who am I doesn't matter. What are you doing here? The leader looks at your gear appraisingly and frowns. It matters. You better answer, or this conversation will be your last. Abelard, help these wretched realize the full extent of their inevitable position. Before you stands the Lord Captain Kinokon von Valancius, mistress of this vessel and everything on it, including the goods you are pouring at with your unwashed hands, your miserable lives as well. The people turn to stare in disbelief and exchange heated whispers. The excitement is interrupted by the leader's roar. What are you groping at? Hurry up and bend your backs as right and proper. Your Lordship, you may excuse this blockhead. I was taken aback myself. It's not every day you see a rogue trader in the flesh, and as for this, the man cast a glimpse at the rack. I won't insult you by denying it. You've caught us red-handed. Tell me why you shouldn't execute you on the spot. You could execute us, but who would take our places? Shameless scum who rob and kill to their heart's content, bastards who accept mutants into their gangs and pray to the archenemy. There have always been outlaws on this ship. You're better off with outlaws like us who don't go too far and keep the heretics down. Who are you? The Hard Nine, a gang, a brotherhood from Transport Bay 9. Don't think we're parasites. We do our bit for the prosperity of the ship. We're sort of assistants to the enforcers, self-appointed. We make sure that order is maintained in compartments where the enforcers are too lazy or greedy for bribes. We put a stop to robbery and free thinking, and we accept a small contribution to show our thanks. You all have your little fingers cut off. What does this mean? It's our gang's initiation rite, the fine tradition. By voluntarily removing a finger, the newcomer shows a determination and willingness to join us forever. It's also a badge of honour. He proudly shows off the stump on his little finger. And why do you need my weapons? Are you going to rebel? To do business, the gang leader smiles ingratitude. We're no rebel. If anyone blasphemes against your ladyship, we call the troublemakers to order, and we shed blood for a flagship without fear. I suppose that makes us defenders of this ship. Frog raises eyebrows questioningly and looks at you expectantly. You obviously didn't expect anyone to be here. Are the enforcers providing cover for you? I wish. Predsum, the newly appointed captain, and his informants had our informant strung up. He's tightening the screws, damn it. We can barely breathe. Today is the last time we'll come pick over this compartment. I suppose you may be of some use. I shall permit you to take a few of the more basic weapons and leave. Serve the ship well. The Seneschal grips his teeth, impotent in his face of your choice. One day I will realise the depth of your wisdom and your decision, Lord Captain, but in the meantime I pray that this act does not come back to haunt you. Yeah, boys, the Lord Captain himself is expecting good things from us. We can't let them down. His cronies make a sound of approval. We will fulfill your command to the letter. Last time I came here, I just killed them all. It was so lot easier. Ripper Plus.
Operation successful.
I always have a backup plan.
Ooh, my bitrate is dropping like hell. The kids have been waiting for you. How was your shift? I worked hard. I helped out a friend with the loading. He gave me some cards. Get them to exchange them for your new shoes. Yours are all worn out. Oh, thank you. I've already made your bed for you. So once we've eaten, you go rest. The little ones and I will head out to the marketplace and leave you in peace. Why did the Emperor send me such a wonderful wife? Oh, sweet. Hate it. Ugh. I think the ship still runs with a place like this. It's got to make you think what these ships were like when they were first built.
Get left in the dust.
We should deal.
Bigger. Oh, clog the tunnels so much for a house on the outskirts. They're bred, the void rats. Now they're all over the level 2. An old man can't get no peace anymore.
Nothing matters more.
Washing cards. What's this? Book of Prayers. The wearer deals 10% more damage to Xenos and demons. The wearer has Conviction Dogmatic. These bonuses are doubled. What have I got? If I should equip that, you never know when it'll come handy.
The shadows reveal their secrets.
More Russian cards.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Nope, nothing today.
Let us not dawdle.
Shreds of rat carcasses and yellow-green moss spew out of the cloudy sludge, among other unidentifiable ingredients. That's the top run done. Start heading down.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Blindfolded old man. An old man in a pit full rags listens intensely to the sound of your footsteps. A stinking piece of cloth is wrapped around his eyes, with greenish pus oozing out from under it. The old man lays his trembling hands protectively on a heap of junk that serves as his bed, as well as his table. Empty beggar's mug makes a clinging sound next to his withered leg. bro. Here, have something to eat. The old man ravenously sinks his remaining teeth into the meat tough fibers, but soon gives up on chewing and swallows the piece whole. Could this be a true miracle of the Emperor, or is it just another dream? What happened to your eyes? The void rats gnawed them out while I was asleep, and the sewer water my wounds were washed with was infected. Turns out the pain becomes a stinging feeling that wouldn't go away, and only got worse. I was a blind man who managed to survive in a place like this. People help me, good people, not so good ones too. He sweeps his withered arm vacantly around the slums.
Is there money to be made?
Russian cards. There's several what you can see a coloured enamel from it, akin to blood mixed with milk. It should be a foreboding sign, but then why do I feel so calm?
Keep your wits about you.
Watch out.
Mines. Ooh.
I better myself through my service.
Give our gift to the ones who sees nothing but hears everything. Then the truth will be revealed to you.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
I can't go up there. Oh, saving. Stop being so bloody difficult. What's that thing the death cultists say? Your time has come, or what have you? No, please. What did I do? Oh, this is matter. Talk about being everywhere at once. How about we take our stuff to the marketplace? We'll get some good soup tonight. We'll get to eat some good soup tonight.
I always keep my options open.
The Vizier. Would he be
This man
proud?
is suffering from a severe
Am I?
but curable disease. One vial of medicine administered in the early stages would have saved him.
Let us not dawdle. This could be an opportunity.
I see what others do not.
A lot of explosives.
Never doubt me. The Emperor favors me
Potentially a
today.
lot of XP.
I better myself through my service.
The machine god grants me insight.
Born by a death cult assassin, whenever the wearer kills an enemy, that enemy explodes in a fountain of blood. The cells nearby are covered in blood, as if affected by blood fire. If worn by a death cult assassin, when the wearer gains a stack of blood blessed, they also gain 10 toughness for 2 rounds. Does not stack. And the user loses all the temporary wounds, increases their melee damage by the same amount. Got you some gear. Currently I'm using tax opportunity. Bloody mess instead. This here. Give her a grenade as well. In case you never know. Before her range attacks, she hasn't got any. Gotta give her those. Oh. Lord Captain has spent too much time, has gained a rush.
I always have a backup plan.
A day Lord Captain wanders into the slums will be remembered in legend. The broad-shouldered man raises his hand in greeting. His old prosthetic creaks plainly as it takes the weight off his body. Don't panic! Oh, things you do with wife. The broad-shouldered man raises his hand in greeting. His old prosthetic creaks painfully as it takes the weight off his body. The locals and the enforcers call me the foreman. I have no other name. You might say I'm in charge here. Whole of a place. You recognise the shaggy red beard and the keen black eyes. This is the man who was watching you during the encounter with the enforcers on the station. I saw you near the marketplace. What were you doing there? Watching one of my own workers take a beating. I feel sorry for the lad, but there was nothing I could do. The foreman smiles wearily, showing his yellowish teeth. Almost all of the front have been knocked out. I've struck my neck out in the past. Not doing that again. Tell me, what's life like here in the lower decks? They toil day in and day out for the glory of the ship. The rest of the time they do their best to survive. Faced with hunger, the more deranged of the enforcers. Void leprosy, fires, floods, noxious fumes, the foreman lists these his fingers, although he has fewer than the natural average to work with. Nature's average to work with. In a word, it's a decent enough life. If you work, you survive. If you freeload, you also survive if you're clever. Well, if the God Emperor wills it. What are you cooking in the vats? Believe it or not, this soup made from mold slime and technically drained water has been simmering here in this vat for at least 200 years, non-stop. See the growth on the wall over there? We harvest it, dry it, use it to season the soup. If we're lucky, the smell attracts a void rat. Someone gets to have meat in their bowl. The foreman points his finger towards the vat. It's for those who can't even earn a ration card. I feed them in exchange for services or favors. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. My people keep an eye out for workers trying to eat 2 bowls in one sitting. One is enough to fill your stomach for an entire watch. Some complain about the taste, of course. Great. Give me a bowl of your soup. Let the servants see any food is a great blessing. I don't think that's a good idea. Mold slime is something of an acquired taste. Takes 2 years, maybe 3, for your stomach to get used to it. Lord Captain, you must be joking, surely. Pour me a bowl. I know what I'm doing. Do I though? Do I? As you wish, the foreman hands you a bowl of the hot, viscous sludge. The smell could be worse, probably. I'm going to be sick. Substance analysis complete. The outlook is dim. It is recommended that you dispatch authorized units to locate an appropriate successor. With the finest spoonful comes the immediate urge to regurgitate the disgusting sludge. The heaving is followed by dizziness, yet you're stoically persistent and force the slimy chunks of something indeterminate down your throat. The crowd is gawking at you, wide-eyed. I couldn't fail it. Glory to the Emperor who nourishes us. Your words echo in absolute silence, which lasts only a moment before the starving poor erupt into prayers to you and to him, tears glistening in their eyes. The Lord Captain himself has tried our food and found it worthy. Remember to be grateful for any nourishment, as it is a blessing. The foreman bellows and roars with discreetly interposing himself between you and the crowd of ecstatic commoners. Ecstatic commoners who look like they might otherwise swarm and accidentally trample their overlord in a frenzy of admiration. Give the foreman a pile of ration cards. Hand these out to people you know need them the most. Opens and closes his mouth in astonishment. Lord Captain, I've just helped some good families survive. You've just helped some good families survive. I'll divide the cards among them, and sure to tell them that it was your Lord Ladyship who gave them the good turn. Seek the blood spinner's web temple. Do you know where it is? The cultists don't let people like me on their rights. Mysteries. I'm grateful for them for the service to the God Emperor, but to be honest, I can't get behind their love of death. I'm much too fond of living. I know I kept saying too.
Keep your wits about you. I know how to take risks.
The specimens before you must be the most repellent inhabitants of in the compartment. They are covered in sores, bald patches, glistening with pus. The stench of unwashed bodies brings a tear to your eye. One of them glowers at you and grunts. What you want? What crime did you kill this man? Grinning, the leader spits out, for the crime of wealth. That dead bastard had rations, fuel cells. You traded them for porridge. What are you, mutants, invalids? Mold eaters, outcasts, folks who have no place even among the lowest of the low. Some were born that way, some were driven out to keep them from spreading the contagion. The foreman won't let us near the vat. The enforcers try to shoot us on sight, as if it's our fault that we are born in a terrible place. We are worms in the rotting belly of the ship, fodder for disease. The outcast lips his lips and see a tongue studded with small, undeveloped teeth. This is no disease, this is an obvious mutation. I am the Lord Captain of this ship. On your knees, you insolent scum. The outcasts look at one another and burst into a hoarse, gurgling crackle. The Lord Captain in our shithole, and I'm Saint Dustus. Here's my retaliator. The man exposes an armpit riddled with bolts. Cassia lets out a faint sigh, hastily covering her face with her hand. Gracious Emperor, why are we talking with these horrible people? Albert eternally holds out a snow-white handkerchief to her. I fear, Lady Cassia, that these and many other questions will be left unanswered. Argenta towers over the freak, looking immaculate and unaffected. Even meeting the wretched heretics such as this brings me joy. Wiping out even a drop of corruption is still a worthy deed. You detect a note of hysteria in the vagrant's laughter. Fingers of many are convulsively trembling, and there is something in the fearless way they look at you, an indifferent death, too strange and unnatural. They sentence you to death for committing murder on my ship. The mutant bears his black stumps that are his teeth. We'll gut you and trade you. We'll gut you and trade what you have on you for a pile of scran. Hey, outcast, come on if you want a share of the spoils.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none!
Let the blood flow!
Alright. What the Lord can come. Get it. Yeah, well. Go here.
An offering of blood. I will leave footprints of scarlet. I shall not caught by the web. As honor ordains.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Killing brings me no pleasure.
Chaos guides me!
I feel nothing, fear nothing.
Ah! Death to non-believers!
I'm not accustomed to being ordered
I
around.
serve the ruinous powers!
If I may,
Out of my way! Ah!
Right.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. This is why I was eradicated. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Fire.
I'll do it.
Follow my lead.
Can one hit?
Victory is imminent. I will do my duty. One fewer target. At your beck and call.
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Shot.
Request approved.
On it. Who, if not me? Taking calculated risk is my second nature. I'll see to it personally. You should feel honored to witness this.
Death comes in silence.
That we want.
As the tenets demand. Trust me. I shall not fail. Come, the other side awaits. Killing brings me no pleasure. Trust me. As honor ordained, death is a blessing.
Got one left.
It's as good as done.
I will not die in dishonor.
Shame.
A dance of blades and shadows.
Range.
Death to non-believers!
Ugh, my ears are ringing.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Death to the weak!
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Indeed. At your beck and call.
Let me.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! As the Emperor commands, I act.
A tactically sound approach. It will be done. Reduced to dust. Victory is imminent.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Request approved. Insignificant value.
I'll make it happen.
Let the blood of the wicked be shed as thou hast willed.
He's from Dead Outcast. Hello there. The amount of collision now. It's okay.
Is there money to be made?
Been with last people. Indra at the Outcast. A figure in decaying tatters is rocking in to and fro, muttering indecisively several different voices, occasionally breaking into a hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. Ugly, rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Sandra to the other side? No, 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 no. You're just wandering around in the dark looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? There is a blood symbol next to you. I have seen such marks before. It is another part of the Song of the Trailing Blood. Zendra bursts into hysterical laughter. Oh yes, the song. Here, listen, listen. The woman starts chanting hurriedly. She wandered an eternally dark, yet was consoled. Web foretold. Undying one's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end, and so the spider did that which was owed, her life and death to ship bestowed. The final test. This time, they wanted you to make a sacrifice. If one were to interpret the entire mystical search as a representation of the saint's journey, then the logical conclusion is that you are supposed to sacrifice yourself, to merge with the blood that has drenched the flagship from bow to stern. She laughs again. And you'll see it. See if you learn to see. Look into the darkness. Look. I cannot fathom what I am meant to see. You peer into the darkness and are gradually able to make out the outlines of an object hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses, rough walls, and twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see, do you? You don't see. Zendra shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags, stripping off her decaying flesh, peel off along with them. You will not see until you become like Zendra, the flesh and the blood of this ship. How do I become the flagship's blood? Oh, Zendra will show you, and you will see the true light. Come now.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Oh, time for the jump. The rotating blades promises nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Skipping past them would require some unreasonable precise calculations or blind luck. While listening to the air current, for a moment you think you hear Zendra's whispered prayer rising from the depths of the shaft. Pray to the Emperor. I put my life in thy hands, for I believe truly that thou wilt protect. The words come easy, and all of doubt fades away. Somehow you know with certainty that your life will not end here. Jump. I've made it. Oh, I've lost everything but my suspicious rush.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Ugh. Chance. For the Emperor.
I always get the job done.
Oof. Order 16.
I always have a backup plan.
There are large holes in this apartment ceiling, and the spinners have dismantled the bulkheads to expand their temple even higher. Look at the box.
I always keep my options open.
Tangles of improvised bridge construct from the beams of flowing stretches even higher. Flowing stretching even higher. Not unlike a web, the temple is glowing, as if it were a living organ.
Let us not dawdle.
A few technical difficulties. One moment. Going on? Ah. Fuck. Why is my bitrate so bad today? Go down.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Oops. Old stones sarcophagi serve as death cult's beds, the bones of their deceased comrades as their bedding. Oh, that's grim.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Oh, someone took the easy way. A frail old man, grey beard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaw seem eerily snake-like. and the Lady of the Ark walks the path of unlife, in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner, and the servants of death bowed before her, for the Dominion is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turns to the side. He nods towards the temple's muffled silence. Yes, yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome her as the tenants of death. Your hues are almost as pale as the grey in your beard, but what is this? Cassia flinches and takes a shuddered breath. A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colours. A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant, the dynasty's symbol is etched into his forehand. Dripping blood with a brief motion, he flicks the blood off the blade and several drops land at your feet. The blood-spun web welcomes its new lady. I am the Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited. Whispers echoes his words from the shadows. What do you mean you have waited? It was not so long ago I made the acquaintance of the cult. As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his tarot, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readers I did back then, I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in the intrinsic tangles of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting, but when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, year after year, and now the hour has come. So you walked my companions here the normal way while I had to jump. The spinners guided them along a different trail. You had to take a step, but only you were meant to become the flagship's blood domain. There is no reason to test your faith, to test the faith of those who follow you, for this burden was for your lady to bear. Why have you invited me here? Death whispers your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual, but only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The Vizier is suddenly distracted by something invisible and nods towards an empty space. Yes, we are glad she has reached this place. We are glad to serve. How did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of my ship without anybody noticing? Followers of the cult once inhabited the tunnels between the bays, bulkheads, until the threads of fate were tangled and the domain and the age past gave us the compartment. We set ourselves to building spacious halls where the shadows, an image of him, and the spinners themselves would whisper of death, and thus the temple you see began to change with the succession of viziers and the cult's generations. We are building it still, slowly but surely. I have walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now? The song of the trail blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it, setting out on the path, we passed first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fears and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown. A search for death, The trial of the compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself abert briefly in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. For the choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was the trial of duty. The duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, and the fourth trial have brought you here. Were the trials truly necessary, would not a conversation have sufficed? The vizier bows his head guiltily. Such as the tenants of a web, they are all we have ever known, and the only life we have learned to live. The path you walked was gift from the Undying One, and so we decided that was how we were to honour you. The Ziyech's sown shut eyes seemed to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into an empty space again. Peace, my brother. The time has almost come. So the entire conversation was another test, I imagine. A smile graces the vizier's brushed lips. The tenants command us to prepare for all the trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Dominant Kinokon? His mouth closes, but you can still hear his whispers. A prickly sensation in your face makes you increasingly anxious. You raise your hand to its cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at the palm, see a few smudged drops of blood on the vizier's blade. A strange, serene calm envelops your body. Your fatigue subsides. You seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before. The shadows in the corners take on shapes and colours. The subdued luminous light playing on the cultist bones and masks. Are they really masks? Their tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might have well been dead people. A chill runs down your spine. What is the meaning of this? Your heart is beating slowly. Your breath has become deeper. Your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of some potent stimulant. Look around the temple. One moment the walls of Death's sanctum glow infinitely wider. The next they are so narrow as to make it hard to breathe. The floor dances under your feet, and the Undying Empress statue seems to shake its head threateningly as if it looks down upon you. So what now? That is for you to tell me. You look at the vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response. Now you're going to initiate me as a servant of death. As a servant of death, hiss the echoing whispers from the temple, and the vizier bows his head reverently. You have become the blood of this flagship. Now you will become one of his faithful servants. We may not name you a spinner, for a spinner's shreds demand the forsaking of one's previous life. But the bloodspun web will still accept you. The tenants allow it, but only for a dominion who has followed the trailing blood until the end. Upon the ritual's platform at the Undying Emperor's feet, under the keen gaze of his dark, empty eye sockets, you feel completely insignificant. Surprisingly, the thick blood pouring from his hands onto your brow, chest and shoulders is still warm. Bowed before his image, the vizier assembles the ceremonial postures with incredible ease. His withered body moves swiftly and soundlessly. You are slowly plunged into darkness to the sound of ritual chants and soothing blades. Amid the noise of splashing blood and the cultist's whispers, you hear the word, "Death has spoken your name. Domin Kinokon, death accepts you." Offer a prayer to the Undying Emperor. Each word consecrates to him echoes in the temple of your chest. Your veins become hot and your blood turns to liquid flame. You have no fear in you. A whisper seems to come from above. From the Emperor's lips of stone, I see you. Could the lingering intoxication still be playing tricks on your mind? A strange rash you developed in the straight line pestilence pit grows pale and scabs over. A healing glance descends upon you. The vizier's voice grows suddenly thunderous, now snaps you out of your reflections. Death has accepted you, Domin Kinokon. Now, and for all of time, you are the Blood Warden, the Undying One's most venerable servant. A strange whisper brushes against the edge of your hearing. You cannot make out the words spoken by the infinitely distant yet infinitely powerful voice. You are not even certain whether you actually heard something or simply imagined it. Gain battle trance. This ability costs 5 plus character's level halved wounds to use. The character removes the blinded, immobilized, prone, slowed, staggered or stunned effect from themselves. This ability can be used even while stunned or prone. If the character has no negative effects to be removed, they instead gain 1 AP and 4 movement points on the current turn. This ability can only be used once per combat and cannot be used during the first round. Not bad. I felt as if the God Emperor was watching me. To many he comes during their time of service, in an image of blood and whispers from the shadows. But remember that those are mere visions. For true death will not come for you until your time. It will take your soul gently in its bony hands. Blood Warden, very flattering. I will add it to my other titles. Now that you are part of the Bloodspun web, remember henceforth to beware of vanity, for it leaves gaping rents in the armour of the soul. Finished here. The ritual is complete. But you are not. The vizier gestures to one of the cultists, who is carefully holding a strange garment. Come closer. For many years we have maintained fearlessly to the dominant. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to grace his sanctum, the first of them all to be initiated so. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear out exaltation and accept this gift as a vestment sewn on the bones of his faithful with the threads of death. Light armor. Dodge while not in cover. A strength bonus in wounds. Not bad. But I don't think it's for me. The cultist whispers prayers of the Undying One as they help you change your clothes, regain your faculty. You have become a blood spinner of the Bloodspawn web. Okay. RT? Cultists. Underneath the ancient relic is a stone plaque with an inscription carved in elegant cursive. If you value life above duty, you are not worthy of life. Vizier Geophanthus. Now I can open it. Crimson targets flow from the statue. Statue's hands, a symbol of the countless deaths offered by
Is there money to be made?
The shrouded faith of the blood-spun web. It is both frightening.
The vizier's head trembles with the infirmity of age, and his lips utter barely audible words meant for those who can only see. Domino Kinokon has honoured us with a visit. We are glad. First spinner. Peace, Klebeth. You are the shield. You are the shadow. You are the blade. So be them. Who is it that you talk to all the time? The vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult, I hear them from beyond death. They share their wisdom, I heed them. The other spinners, they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear. I see your eyes are certain shut. Are you blind, or is it another of the cult's ritual? I was sighted for much of my life until a disciple of mine violated the tenets and I realised just how blind I had been. A lesson, a bitter one. To look with one eyes alone is to easily be fooled. But the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such is my choice. I sealed my eyelids with the grease of true sight. Now I see more and better. Your traditions and rituals are rooted in blood and death. Many frightened by that. Many are blind, even with their eyes wide open. Thus spoke the matriarch spider. People look for things without seeing their essence, which makes them easily beguiled or frightened. We adorn the tunnels with the bones of the righteous, that they may guide our faithful against the corrupted deeds and thoughts. We use the blood of the unholy ones for divination, so we may see dangers. The blood of the martyr is our wine, for their suffering makes us stronger. People are afraid, but only because they see death as the end. Death, however, is the beginning. It is the life and duty of oblivion. Death has many facets. That is the essence. That is the beauty. That is its beauty. Okay, leave. We will meet again, Dominant. Threads of blood weave pattern. Ah, now I have my beam. Come here and do it for Medicaid for me.
Just as he ordained.
Smoke trickles from your nostrils, making it slightly dizzy. Such substances are known to indulge in visions and hallucinations.
An expected result.
Right.
I always have a
Got me some
backup
new gear.
plan.
Never wear a max melee attack, they gain a wound. Give that use now. Oh, and dodge actually goes up by 5. Ah, so I'm not in cover. So let's have a look. My armor will drop by 5. I'll get an extra 3 wounds. Dodge while I'm not in cover. But a lot more dodge. I'll wear it for now. Although it does look nice on my character. Weapons. Now. Give F. So it's not a sword, it's just primitive. Quite annoying. Those buns. Less minute damage is going to greatly reduce their parry. over. Our brick still running chains. Nothing's anything else. The other compartment. A spinner, its face covered in carved bleeding glyphs, makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way. Take me to the enforcer in charge of the freight line hub. I have business with. Captain Fearson has accepted a few wounds since your last conversation. Half of his ear is gone, and you notice that he's wearing a bloodied bandage under his uniform. Seeing you, he quickly injects himself with a stimulant and straightens. How may I be of service, Lord Captain? Enforcers have been appropriating ration cards from the workers returning from their shifts. Why is that? Are you short on provisions? The compartments are just enough. The compartment has just enough food to avoid starvation, Lord Captain. This is why the enforcers are making sure that no serf has more cards than they are supposed to. They used to rip out people's tongues for it, but I reduced the punishment to simply beating the thieves, confiscating all their cards. The orders are to give these cards to workers who are starving due to lack of work shifts, not to help them. Not that it helps them much, but it's better than nothing. Kirsten scoffs. Are the enforcers guilty of misappropriation and confiscating items? Yes. Do they get caught stealing, receiving severe punishment? Absolutely. I came across a drawing of a worker in a red mask. What does it mean? The captain frowns. It's a figure of local legend, known as Nemesis, protector of the poor and oppressed. Ever since I was a child, desperate people have been drawing his portrait on the wall, hoping to summon Bender to punish those who wrong them. We've had 13 or so fools calling themselves Nemesis over the past 5 years. We disburdened ourselves of them just to be sure. Cult heritage of this compartment is interesting. Cultural heritage of this compartment is interesting. Captain shrugs. Not much can be expected from simple-minded surfers. Were you in a shootout? Yes, there's been a raid on a local gang. We finally cleared out the scoundrels who were smuggling goods to neighbouring compartments. No one escaped. Burstone permits himself a brief smile and a grim satisfaction. I have finished inspecting this bay. The captain raises an wary eyebrow. Will there be any orders based on the inspection? Only harsh measures will bring order to the bay. Establish an execution quota. Strip all corrupting forces of their rank and burn away all crime. Any idlers are to be given a job, and if they cannot do anything useful, servitize them. Organize mandatory sermons and spread the word of faith. The captain nods eagerly. I will do. We will increase the pressure on the untrustworthy elements, conduct searches and interrogations to uncover crime. We will herd the rabble to prayer services and remind them that your ladyship's law is stern. Mushroom gained ability. Hang on a minute. What the hell is this? Mushroom gained the ability. Since when do they translate people's names? This is interesting. The flagship weapons deal 5% more damage, gain 5% crit chance. By virtue of strict discipline, the freight line delivers munitions with only minimum delay. The crew of artillery bays now have more time to calibrate and maintain ship's weapons. Nice. I've been told the next bay has a labour shortage. We are going to deploy our workforce reserves there. In shackles if need be. I was attacked. Pearson lets out a menacing growl and his face filled with blood. Who dares? I encountered mutants in the pestilence pit. They seem to be under the influence of unholy power. You went to a pestilence pit? You? Into the pestilence pit? Pearson stares off into the distance as he speaks. Pardon me, Lord Captain, I just can't even begin to find the words I would use if I had to tell the Master at Arms that you had perished in there. He rubs his temples wearily. The enforcers do regularly check to see if there are any dangerous blight-stricken rejects hiding at the bottom of the bay. I implore you, Lord Captain, leave the job to us. I'll be on my way then. In 3 days? What? Lord Captain, here to report. Your orders have been carried out. The compartment is already operating according to the new procedures.
Keep your wits about you.
Oh look! New servitors! I wonder where they came from.
Let us not dawdle.
Nothing new in here.
I always keep my options open.
There seems to be some dead people. Lord Captain, a clandestine cell has been uncovered and the traitors are dead and their weapons have been confiscated. Oh, Foreman.
Is there money to be made?
Not a lot's changed over here, is it?
Always keep your eye on the prize. Keep your wits about you.
It was nice to
Compared
see everyone
naval
well
service,
behaved.
That was barely a challenge.
Let us not dawdle.
Lord Captain Man, Eddie Furk stops pursuing the report on his day-to-day. I hope being in the bay has not caused you any inconvenience. Nope. Nice to see things working properly. Osteopathic Chapel. Except ability is getting annoying. Oof. I don't know why it's saying there's a problem with my bitrate when it isn't. Right, Osteopathic Chapel. Here. What is going on with my internet today?
How fascinating. To me, the Immaterium is made of colors, but to the astropaths who dwell in this chapel, it is music.
Cursed music. Why do the astropaths not fill this place with litanies in his name instead?
Yeah, goods. Anything else? Worth not appropriating because, well, it belongs to me already. Oh. The last beacon cannot be saved from the 13th storm. The last father's beloved son will open his yawning maw. Okay. Oblivion is inevitable. After the boundless sunset comes the horrific sunrise, brought forth into the womb, wailing world from a womb of... Ew. Did not go well for him.
Is there money to be made?
Logic.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
The receiver's enormous reel directs paper tapes containing unprocessed text into the chapel's depths after blessing the paper with an imprint of sacred cogs.
Operation
Once
successful.
text is ready for final interpretation, the compiler sends it to the Chronomaster along with a list of meanings for the known image.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Choir Master Zachary Worse. A tall old man in a long green robe stands motionless in front of a cogitator. The closer you approach, the clearer you can hear his continuous, unintelligible whispers. You are about to call his name when he falls silent and sharply turns towards you. Lord Captain? A visit from the rogue trader is an honor for us. Like other astropaths in the chapel, the choir master's eyes are bandaged over with time-worn scrolls of sacred manuscript. Nevertheless, he cannot shake the feeling that his otherworldly, glowing gaze is suddenly studying you neatly. How can I be of use, your lordship? Sanctioning is a brutal procedure, one which robs every astropath of the gift of sight, but in return they gain a new kind of vision that allows them to see what ordinary people cannot. I will speak later, Chronomaster. I have business to attend to. Goodbye, your ladyship. The Chronomaster follows you with otherworldly gaze, leaning forward. I'm going to call it there, because the internet's having spasms. Save. Bid for this moment. I might be back soon. The internet stops playing up.